The idea of having more than one partner often gets tangled in a web of judgment. People imagine a chaotic free-for-all, a whirlwind of jealousy and heartbreak. But that's not what it feels like from the inside. For me, and for many others who walk this path, it's about expansion, not division. It's the simple, radical notion that our capacity to love isn't a finite resource, like a single slice of pie that must be jealously guarded. Instead, love feels more like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and more capable it becomes. It's a strange and beautiful arithmetic where 1 + 1 + 1 can equal a household filled with laughter, support, and a profound sense of belonging. We're all raised on a steady diet of fairy tales. The prince finds his one princess, the knight slays the dragon for his one true love, and they live happily ever after. This narrative is hammered into us from birth. It's in our movies, our songs, and our family stories. But what if that story is just a story? What if it's a cultural script we've been handed, not a biological imperative? Questioning this sacred cow of monogamy can feel like heresy. Yet when you look at our ancestral past, and even at our primate cousins like the bonobos, you see a much more fluid and communal approach to partnership and affection. It makes you wonder if we've been trying to force a square peg into a round hole for centuries. My personal journey into this world wasn't a grand rebellion. It was a quiet, creeping realization. I noticed that my affection for one person didn't diminish my feelings for another. It was a different flavor, a unique connection that stood on its own. It felt less like cheating on a diet, and more like appreciating a diverse and rich buffet of human connection. The love I felt for my long-term partner was a deep, comfortable river. While a new connection might be a sparkling, exciting stream, they both flowed from the same source, and one didn't have to dry up for the other to exist. It was an awakening to the possibility that my heart was bigger than I had been taught to believe. This isn't about collecting people or treating relationships like a game of Pokemon, it's the opposite. It demands radical honesty, impeccable communication, and a level of emotional intelligence that standard-issue monogamy rarely requires. You have to talk about everything: jealousy, scheduling, insecurities, and joy. It's a constant negotiation, a dance of needs and desires. It's about building a framework of trust so robust that it can support the weight of multiple loving connections. It's about creating a family, a tribe, where support comes from multiple directions, and the safety net is woven from more than just a single thread. It's a conscious choice to build a different kind of home. We often equate loyalty with sexual exclusivity. It's a simple, clean definition that's easy to police. You're either loyal, you sleep with only me, or you're a cheater because you slept with someone else. But this definition feels incredibly fragile and, frankly, a bit shallow. It places the entire weight of a relationship's integrity on a single act, ignoring the countless other ways we can betray a partner. What about emotional neglect? What about financial deceit, or a profound lack of respect? Are those not greater betrayals? In my experience, the loyalty found in open and polygamous relationships is often deeper and more meaningful because it's not based on a rule, it's based on a principle. The loyalty I see and practice is about being a steadfast ally. It's about showing up for your partners, not just when it's fun, but when life gets messy and difficult. It's about celebrating their successes, even those that have nothing to do with you. It's about championing their growth and supporting their other relationships. This is a loyalty that says, I am on your team, unconditionally. Your happiness is my happiness, no matter where you find it. This is a far more resilient form of commitment. It's a promise to have someone's back, to be their port in any storm, rather than just the gatekeeper to their sexuality. It's a loyalty of the soul, not just the body. Think about it. In a monogamous context, a partner's new attraction is seen as a threat. It's a crack in the foundation, a sign that something is wrong. In a well-functioning polyamorous dynamic, it can be a source of joy. The feeling is called compersion, the happiness you feel when your partner is happy with someone else. It's the opposite of jealousy. It feels like watching your partner open a gift that you didn't give them, but you're just thrilled to see the look of delight on their face. This isn't some superhuman emotional state. It's a natural outcome of delinking your self-worth from your partner's sexual choices and focusing instead on their overall well-being. Of course, jealousy still exists. We're human after all. But in this context, jealousy isn't a stop sign. It's a check engine light. It's an indicator that an insecurity needs to be addressed or a need isn't being met. Instead of becoming a source of conflict and accusation, it becomes a catalyst for conversation and deeper intimacy. You learn to ask, what is this feeling telling me? Instead of pointing a finger and saying, you made me feel this way. This reframing turns a potentially destructive emotion into a tool for strengthening the bonds between everyone involved. It builds a trust that's far more robust than one based on simple and often broken rules of sexual fidelity. Let's be honest, monogamy can feel like a pressure cooker. We're expected to find the one, a single person who will be our everything. They must be our best friend, our passionate lover, our co-parent, our financial partner, our intellectual equal, and our emotional rock. That is an impossible, almost cruel amount of pressure to put on one individual. It's like expecting a single musician to perform an entire symphony by themselves. Why not have a whole orchestra? Why not let different people play different beautiful instruments in the symphony of your life? It's not about finding someone who is lacking. It's about admitting that no single person can, or should, be expected to fulfill every need. This dissatisfaction with the monogamous ideal isn't just about sex. It's about the freedom to connect with people authentically, without having to constantly check if that connection is appropriate. Have you ever found yourself pulling back from a new friendship because you felt a spark and worried it might cross a line? That's the monogamy trap in action. It polices our connections and forces us to amputate potentially meaningful relationships before they even have a chance to grow. It creates a world of artificial scarcity where there should be abundance. Choosing a non-monogamous path is like taking the governor off the engine of your social and emotional life, allowing you to go full throttle into human connection. Polygamous relationships allow for a distribution of emotional labor. On a tough day, you might not have the energy to support your partner through their crisis. In a monogamous setup, that can lead to resentment or feelings of failure. In a polyamorous family, someone else can step in. One partner might be great at giving practical advice, while another excels at providing a comforting shoulder to cry on. It creates a resilient, collaborative support system. It's the old wisdom of the village, applied to our intimate lives. It truly does take a village to support a person, and trying to shrink that village down to a single partner is a recipe for burnout and disappointment. This isn't about a deficit in the primary relationship. In fact, for many, it strengthens it. When you're not solely responsible for your partner's happiness, you can engage with them more freely and joyfully. The pressure is off. You can love them for who they are, not for who you need them to be. This freedom allows each connection to be what it is, without the burden of expectation. One relationship might be about intellectual sparring and shared hobbies, another about deep emotional vulnerability, and yet another about playful, sensual exploration. Each one is valuable, and none of them have to be everything at once. Ultimately, this exploration is about freedom. It's the freedom to define for yourself what a meaningful relationship looks like. It's the freedom to follow your heart, even when it leads you down a path less traveled. Our culture presents us with a very narrow menu of relationship options, but the human experience is infinitely more diverse. Choosing polygamy, or any form of ethical non-monogamy, is an act of self-determination. It's a declaration that you are the author of your own love story, and you're not limited to the pre-approved plot lines. It's about listening to your own nature rather than the prescriptive noise of society. This lifestyle is also a powerful engine for self-discovery. When you have multiple partners, you see yourself reflected in different mirrors. Each person brings out a unique facet of your personality. With one partner, you might be the witty intellectual. With another, the nurturing caregiver. With a third, the wild adventurer. It's not about being fake or playing a role. It's about realizing how multifaceted you truly are. These relationships challenge you to confront your insecurities, improve your communication, and become more compassionate. It's a relational spiritual practice, a constant journey of shedding the ego and learning to love more deeply and more honestly. Society's view is, of course, a major hurdle. We're often seen as promiscuous, indecisive, or immoral. The judgment comes from a place of fear and misunderstanding. It comes from a deep-seated belief that love is a zero-sum game. But what if we started to see love as a renewable energy source? What if we saw it as something that multiplies when shared, rather than diminishing? Changing this perspective is a monumental task, but it begins with people living their truths openly and joyfully. It begins by showing the world that these relationships can be just as stable, loving, and committed, if not more so, than the traditional model everyone accepts without question. In the end, love is a wild and mysterious force. It doesn't fit neatly into boxes. It's messy, complicated, and breathtakingly beautiful. Whether it's between two people or five, the core ingredients are the same: trust, respect, communication, and kindness. The beauty of polygamy isn't in the number of partners. It's in the conscious and deliberate creation of a life filled with an abundance of love. It's a testament to the expansive capacity of the human heart. A heart that, when freed from the cage of convention, can learn to love in ways we never thought possible. Love is love, and the more of it there is in the world, the better.